Hey guys, it's Ghost. Welcome back to the channel. I just got back from SCGCon Baltimore a little under a week ago. Today is the 1st of November, and man, I've been busy. Besides coming back to the big boy job, I've been inventorying and getting all my stuff together to get the store back open. But finally now, finding some time to kick back, relax, open up this Beta Wave 3 case, and chat about how our experience went at SCGCon, both Houston and Baltimore. Let's get to cracking. So overall, it was a great time, just like Houston. Met some great people, and just like I said leading into it, this one was definitely a who's who of the sorcery community. We had the OGs, but also a whole lot of new content creators, or at least new to sorcery, and looking to spread the word about their experience and how much fun they had, but mostly highlighting the awesome community that we have. So overall, the scene, man, compared to Houston, Baltimore had tons more energy. You could just feel it in the air with everybody there. You know, double the number of people. They said it was the largest turnout outside of Magic at the event with sorcery. So Lord of Itza walked around and checked out the Flesh and Blood crew and the Wonders of the First, and it was pretty obvious that sorcery had the second most players in the whole event. It was pretty cool. So what I thought I'd do while Crackin and the chatting part of this is just kind of go day by day again like we did with Houston and just talk about my experience. So let's get going. So got there Thursday this time and arrived, checked into the hotel, and pretty much immediately did a quick turn and met up with Philosopher Cards at the No Land Beyond card shop and bar, which was a really awesome time with food and drinks and good times for all. Got to hang out with Philosopher Cards, Noble, Rise Above was there, Vin Propane, or as he's going by now, Donnie Vines, Raz Al Ghul, Kyle, Noble, and then just at the event itself and some after hours parties, got to hang out with Bubba Moo finally from Whatnot, Oso, Silver Sea, Avid Driver, got to have dinner with Lord of Itza and Mike from Collector Art House, and then of course we can't forget about Ed and Mrs. Beards having the Dragon Lord table that's the sorcery team shared. And of course, who could forget Agent Paco and Mrs. Paco again? One of the very few other people who did both Houston and Baltimore. All right, we had Sinkhole as our first elite there. All right, yeah, so Thursday. So what did we do at No Lands Beyond? We had Philosopher Cards there with 2 sealed boxes of alpha, and these were sticker boxes. And if you haven't heard, the sticker boxes were from the Kickstarter and not part of sealed cases. So they were kind of the individual one-offs that people got as part of their Kickstarter. And so rumor has it that there is a much higher chance of things like curios or just the bigger hits in general. And boy, did we get some hits. Pulls for days. So I pulled on video that I posted to the channel a Pact with the Devil alpha foil. And I'm not going to lie, I put it in my deck. But I never got to draw it. So I don't think that counts as lightly played yet. Other than my Pact with the Devil, there was a Color Out of Space foil. There was a 7 League Boots foil pulled. An Eric's Curiosa non-foil that was in the Color Out of Space pack, which was crazy. There was a Death Dealer, I think 2 cores, a Philosopher's Stone non-foil. It's just a crazy couple of boxes. I ended up with a buy round one, which kind of felt a little weird, but that's okay. But what it meant is that I was able to come in 4th by only playing 2 games and going 1-1. All right, I got to remember what the curios are here in beta. Let's see, we're just looking. All right. Trying to talk and rip packs is definitely a skill for sure. So yeah, Rise Above won the Alpha Sealed event that we did, 3-0. But I went with that buy round 1 where I got beat, and then I won when it got me a couple more prize packs, but nothing in them. But that's okay. It was a really good time that we had that night for sure. Luckily, didn't drink too much that night, so woke up Friday morning and was pretty much ready to go. All right, there's our third Elite Silver Valkyries. Just going to zoom in on some of the arts here, because that's sorcery for me. This art is incredible. So the official agenda for Friday morning was the same as Houston, and I was hoping that it wouldn't be because of the overlapping, but there's a little bit of disappointment with the scheduling of the event, but that's okay, because the community and the experience and the gameplay really made up for it, to be honest. But the first event did start a little bit late, and with 7 rounds on that sealed championship event, I ended up only going 3 games. And I had to make the tough decision after going 2-1 to drop out of the tournament so that I could play in the community constructed event that evening. So I think that was 1 whole round less than I did in Houston. But something funny that happened as part of that limited event, so Elite Major Explosion here, was that I got paired with Count Tolstoy again. So that's 2 Fridays in a row, the same exact limited championship, and I get paired with Count Tolstoy. And my deck did pretty okay, but there's really no beating Count Tolstoy when you're somebody like me and you only get to play, once every so often, and you're not net decking, right? Ooh, a camel in the 3rd pack, I think? Hell yeah. But yeah, so I went 2-1, and out of those first 2 games that I played, I was able to get my Lugbog Cat out on turn 2 paired with a pawn. It was pretty fun way to do it, and I think if you can do that in limited, your opponent has a really hard time of coming back from it. Another Elite, okay. So yeah, like I was saying, I dropped after being 2-1 out of the 7 rounds to play that constructed community event, because Arinator, my wife, she went home on the previous Monday following Houston, so I had her Battle Mage deck that I really wanted to try. So I tried it once, and I got beat pretty bad, and I went back to my Pathfinder deck to get that practice in. But the cool thing about that community constructed event was it was double tickets. So you got, instead of 50 tickets for participating per round, you got 100 tickets for participating. In contrast to the sealed event that we were doing, you didn't get any participation tickets. So it was a really tough decision for me, because you would have had to get in the top 36 in order to get any tickets whatsoever again. And I chose to just play the constructed and enjoy myself a little bit. But yeah, my Pathfinder did pretty good. Got a nice win, but 1 loss. But it was just okay. Lots of fun getting a chance to practice the night before the big event. The other thing that I did on Friday is I bought a collection. There's a nice payload trebuchet. I really want to figure out how to get this into a deck and do something with it. Anybody use this in a deck? Tell me about a cool deck that uses this thing. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I bought a collection on Friday night, and it was the craziest thing. So I was negotiating with this guy on Facebook for probably the last week on his his beta and Arthurian Legend foils and non-foils. And he decided on the fly that him and his wife were going to drive up from Georgia and make a little vacation in Virginia. Kind of just super spontaneous. Just kind of an older guy, so had the ability and the means to do that. But not only do that, he drove to Baltimore to meet up with me on Friday night, and we were able to do an in-person collection buy, which is pretty cool. I think it might actually be my first full collection buy in person that I've been able to do. All right, Disintegrate, there's a nice one. That's in that Pathfinder deck. Really useful. Look at that art. All right, moving on. So yeah, did that in-person deal. Oh, now there's a good one. Now this is beta, so the full art foil sorcerer is actually not worth a whole lot of cash, but it is super cool because it's not the box topper that has the regular art back. So I like to keep these because, I don't know, what are they, $2? I can't remember. Put that off to the side. So yeah, bought the collection, introduced them to some of the people in the community. And he was able to meet Bubba Moo and do a little bit more trade deals, I think. And got his Dragon Lord that he wasn't expecting to be able to get. So I think, everybody won on that deal, I think. And that's what I love about doing the collection buys and the trading is finding the win-wins that makes everybody happy. You know, because sometimes when you're buying collections, you can't offer the most money like you could just kind of one-off cards, and you know, you're usually buying a lot of smaller cards all at once, and it takes a lot of time to sell them. So you know, you're shouldering all the risk, so you kind of have to charge or pay a little less. But usually, someone like me is paying more than what a store or a vendor is going to pay. So you know, it all works out. Someone can in one fell swoop get a bunch of money for a bunch more boxes or a bunch more whatever that they're trying to do for their TCG journey. So yeah, it was good. The other thing on Friday, we had a little bit of a night at the art house, which was really cool. A little dinner that Mike Servati put on for us. It was really good being a patron of his. If you're not, you should check that out. Lots of cool stuff. And then also, Philosopher Cards did his Finwives event, and we're going to pause after this one. Wow, we're getting all the elites. Let's see. Going to pause after this pack with this Wave 3 beta box. It's the second Wolves. Those foils are flying off the shelves, and they are really, really expensive right now. So I'm going to pause because I got one of the consolation prizes. Yep, I sure did. What did I get for my Finwife? I got beta packs. So we're going to open the beta packs right now. Thank you, Philosopher Cards, for putting on the Finwives. We'll set these off to the side. So remember, these are the Finwives packs, these three, and these are not part of this Wave 3 box. Before we do that, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things in that collection. They actually bought two collections. One was a lot smaller of a collection that night, but I was able to get one of these guys back in the inventory. It's just a little beta foil P-Stone, and that's for sale. You can see all my links in the description. And then in the second one, got this little guy. As Ruck on Whatnot likes to say, forever guttering, well, not anymore. I didn't pull this one, but yeah, that one's also in the store. Alright, moving on to Finwives. So there were tons of cool prizes in the Finwives packs, or Finwives drawing event. I think there was a whole alpha box, some artist proofs, just some cool stuff, and of course, you know, get the consolation prize packs. But I think they were talking about guaranteed curios in these consolation prize packs. So let's see if we got it. Oh ho ho! Alright, for a consolation prize pack, look at that one. Wow. Foil Oasis. You'd think I'd have my value spreadsheet pulled up so I could tell you what these guys are worth. But nope, that would require a little bit more planning ahead. Alright, that's a great first Finwives pack right there. Holy cow. Thank you, Philosopher Cards, for hosting the Finwives, and if you're not in his Discord, hit me up, I'll give you a link, and you can join in on the next Finwives, because he just posted the details, and it's the biggest one ever. And basically, you get your name on the wheel, and if your name gets pulled, then you draw a Finwife, and this one was beta packs. But it could be all kinds of cool stuff. Whoa! Lord of the Void! Alright, we are 2 for 2 in these packs. Lord of the Void, unique, non-foil. Tell me these consolation packs are going to be better than this whole Wave 3 box. Ha! Cave Trolls, Drown, Miracle Workers. Alright, alright. Alright, this is the curio pack right here. And if you didn't see Philosopher Cards on a different stream that he did with a separate standalone alpha box break, they did another sticker box and they pulled a Free City Curio. Can you believe that? That's insane. Alright, a Mudflow, Raised Dead, into, alright, Mega Amoeba. So if we're gonna go 3 for 3, we need to get a foil back here or something crazy. Another Wolves, Lightning Bolt, Blizzard, Heat Ray. Oh, see, there's the Forever Guttering. Look at that. Icelands, and a bum pack. That's okay. 2 out of 3. Fantastic hits. Oasis has got to be, what, 50 bucks now? Alright, got a little bit of the money back out of the Finwives break. Maybe I'll enter the next one. Alright, that's Finwives. We are back to the grind here. So yeah, that was pretty much the last thing of Friday. Went pretty late into the night. It was pretty great. And then Saturday, woke up bright and early because it was Crossroads Day. And it was a lot like the Houston event, of course, except for the number of people. There were 127 people in the event, compared to just 73 in Houston. And let me tell you, Houston felt like a lot of people. But they were saying that, oh, all right, there's a first unique non-foil out of this box. They're saying that this was the single largest attended sorcery tournament to date. So I know that Sorcery Con last year had a lot more people in general, but as far as the actual like constructed tournament, maybe it was the biggest one. All right, we got a foil. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let's focus for the foil. Oh boy, a Jussie. Oh, I love Jussie. I love his work. Look at this. Come on. Just look at the way that shines. Oh man, that's so nice. And it's an exceptional, like, wow. It's just an uncommon. Awesome. Alright, where were we? So, Crossroads. When you join the Crossroads in the US, you get one of these fantastic little guys. The Lone Tower Atlas Thorn alternate art. So this is the one that you get in the US, and then you can get the Gothic Tower and the Dark Tower in Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and in Europe. I can't remember which one's which, but I got the other two that I traded coming in the mail right now. But man, that's a cool story too, for the getting Atlas Thorn into the game after doing all the altars that he was doing. The other funny thing about the Crossroads, so I had my awesome Pathfinder deck that I built myself. I mean, I used a little bit of templating, but you know, it was fire and a splash of earth, right? So round one, guess who I get paired with? Ira. It's like literally the dude that wrote the rules, right? I get paired with Ira, and he beats me in about 7 or 6.9 minutes, something like that. But it kind of sucked, because, you know, when you play these guys that are really good, you want your deck to perform, you want yourself to perform at your best, you know. But I had in that deck Autumn Unicorns, Pudge Butchers, and Root Spiders were like the full extent of my Earth spells, and my first 6 sites were Earth, and my hand was just full of double threshold fire spells. And Ira, apparently, if you didn't know this, is like a mathematician, and he calculated that it was a 2% chance of that happening, which sucked. But the other cool thing about getting beat in 6.9 minutes is you have plenty of time to play a second game just for funsies. So that was pretty cool, playing with Ira and getting some tips and coaching on how to, you know, make your deck work a little better, and just different strategies that maybe I hadn't thought of. That was super cool. And then later on, Ira came around, and everyone that he played a match against, he gave you a free beta pack. I don't know if he got it off of the wall or what, but so he gave me a free beta pack, and I got, I think, a Critical Strike foil in there, which is kind of a cool, nice little bonus. Little Rift Valley Elite. Still, so far, just the one unique non-foil out of this box. Alright. It's really hard to see the cards through the camera and not get tricked by some of these, thinking that you got a foil hanging on in the back when maybe you don't. So yeah, Crossroads was a great time. I actually ended up going 3-3. And my deck popped off 2 times exactly the way that I was hoping, where I have Year of the Blaze and Hamlets Ablaze and Castles Ablaze, and twice in 2 games I zeroed out completely my opponent's mana base, which kind of sucks for them. But I mean, is there any real difference between getting your sites blown up and getting all your minions wiped out in one fell swoop? So that's the way that I see it. It's part of the game. It's not magic, where you're, at least you get to choose. You're going to draw a sight back immediately the next turn and play one immediately right when it happens to you, because you get a turn to react a little bit and at least save your minions. But yeah, I went 3 and 3. And of course, what did I end up doing? I ended up conceding. Oh, all right. Second unique non-foil, Kingdom of Agartha. Very nice. Very nice right there. So yeah, I had to concede because I wanted to do the evening limited. And again, it's just one of the frustrating things about the event was the overlap. So I conceded so that I would stay technically in the tournament and be eligible for the giveaways. Ooh, now there's a good exceptional right there in the foil Colicky Dragonettes. Man. Wow. Look at that. That is super cool. I think that's like $15. That's a super solid hit. Hell yeah, right? Third foil out of the box. Let's see if there's anything here. So yeah, had to concede, didn't win in the event, ended up getting into the sealed, and in all that confusion, and like the other things, they're doing like the announcing of the top 8 and all the prizes and giveaways and whatever else that they talked about, and you can't hear it over everything that's going on there because it's just so loud, so you miss the whole event that they're doing at that moment because you're sitting down the way trying to listen for your name to be called and hoping they come get you. So yeah, I mean, that was maybe a little bit of a mistake. And in all that confusion, I forgot to get my Dispel promo, which this is the one from Houston. Pretty cool. So they were giving these out for participating, and I forgot, and then remembered on Sunday, and Drew said, yeah, find me later, and I just never did because I'll get to Sunday. I was busy. The other promo that you could get was this swap. And remember, you swap your card, you sign it, and you get this card. And this is the promo art. That's this card's going to be in Gothic. Powerhouse of a card right here at the exceptional level. So you got one of these per day, except they ran out on Sunday. I have some ideas on how that happened, but they ran out, and that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I think most of us were expecting to only be able to get one per person because you're signing it, right? So is it really that big a deal that, you don't get your full playset or you have to end up trading something for it? I don't know. It wasn't the end of the world for me. But still, it's just, those little finesse points that, granted, the second tournament SCD con that the sorcery team was involved in. So, I'm cutting them some slack. What can I say? So yeah, that sealed event got bad packs. I ended up going 1 and 2. Somehow pulled out one of the wins. No idea. But yeah, bad packs. But one of the interesting things was there was only 18 people that participated in it. And I think if I did the math correctly, we were 1 round earlier than we wanted to. Yeah, it's 3 and 3 and 1 concede in the constructed. So I ended up sitting around a lot. Ooh, there's a nice exceptional right there. We'll put that in the cool pile. Oh, Bridge Troll, Court Jester. The other thing that happened on Saturday that was kind of cool is Mike from Collector Art House did a painting reveal, and it was kind of interesting because he went and bought the original art, the original painting of the Brahm that became the Brahm Deathspeaker cure. Oh my god! Wow. Sorry for no headphone warning, but I did not see this one coming. Oh boy, is this a rare pull in Wave 3 Beta. Oh man. Oh. How am I expected to stay on script with the hits being this awesome? Wow. First an Oasis and an Amethyst Core? I don't even have sleeves out because I've been just expecting to get boned. Wow. Alright, it's going in one of these little guys. Holy cow. And this is extra too, so you know what that means. Hit me up on Discord, boys and girls. Wow, what a hit. Hell yeah. That was pretty sick. I have no idea where we were. I think we were talking about Mike Servati's reveal that he bought the Brahm painting. That was pretty cool. So after the official events on Saturday, And I went and hung out with Bubba Moo and Avid Driver, Silver Sea, and Oso. We did a little bit of hotel rips, which was kind of cool. Ended up filming our openings. We did some alpha box breaks, some little live action whatnotting. So check out the shorts section of the channel for my rip of 7 packs, and then Oso did 7 packs, and then we hit up some beta and just had a great time with Oso bringing us some awesome whiskey to drink and just good times with good company. Oh, I'm still shaking after that hit. Good times with good company. So there are 2 cool things that I got hanging out with Oso and Bubba and Avid and Silver Sea. Oso gifted me this awesome Jefferson Oceans Aged at Sea rye, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to have on the screen, but I've enjoyed that thoroughly. Thank you, Oso. And then one of the other things we decided to do and share with each other is do some signatures on a little camel in the spirit of the swap. So we got everybody's cool little signature on there. And these are the moments to cherish and to remember. So thanks guys for hanging out. I had such a great time. Cannot wait to do that again. This is one of the most cherished memories of that event, of that weekend. All right, moving on. Sunday. What did we do Sunday? I'll tell you what I did not do, and that was play in any type of events. Sunday was 9 solid hours of trading, buying, selling, talking to new people who were interested in getting into the game. It was crazy how much trading there was, especially compared to Houston, where you just kind of had a couple of guys filling out their decks. There's an occult ritual, unique magic, non-foil, hell yeah. That's our 3rd unique non-foil of the box. I don't know if we're halfway, probably a little close, almost halfway in this box. But in Baltimore, it was just insane how many people were buying, selling, trading. It was more than just players blinging out their decks, but that was probably the vast majority. But you had the collectors all there too, and just wheeling and dealing and trading. It was really a sight to see. But while all that was happening, can't forget that the top 8 from the Crossroads was going on, and Bubba Moo had made it into the top 8 and got to play his awesome blinged out Druid deck and ended up pulling 3rd overall in the whole Crossroads event. Wow. Congratulations, Bubba Moo. And he got that awesome Rainbow Druid because he played with Druid. Ooh, all right, another unique non-foil. What are we trying to focus on? Mother Nature, Unique Spirit. At the start of your turn, reveal your topmost spell. If it's a minion, you may summon it here. I want to figure out how to get that in a deck. Why not? All right, that's our 4th. So yeah, Bubba took 3rd, got the really cool prize package, a whole bunch of tickets. Just really, really awesome what they do for the winners and the top performers of the Crossroads. Duo won again. If you hadn't heard, you probably did because it's been almost a week. But with a different deck, which I thought was really cool because, you know, maybe you made a bad assumption like, oh, same guy winning, yay. But it turns out, totally different deck that he brewed in order to compete against the deck that he won before. So that was pretty cool. There's a whole article on it, and I might be a little bit off on the timing if it was between Houston and Baltimore or between Gen Con. I'm not sure, but that was kind of cool to see the same guy taking it down with a different deck. So yeah, the trading and the buying and selling was so deep that I never even attempted to buy tickets from the Magic players like I did in Houston. I think I told you that, maybe I didn't, but that was how I got the prize boxes of the beta and the Dragon Lord that I opened in the last video. Was off of the prize wall. That was 3,000 tickets. Holy crap, you had to win, I think you had to win 2 major events to earn that amount of tickets, or you buy it off people that don't want their tickets. Well, I didn't have even a free minute at all to do that at all, so Bubba ended up hooking me up with enough tickets from his prize pack to get an Arthurian Legends box, which ended up being absolute doo-doo in the hotel room later, but yeah. Thanks, Bubba. Really appreciate it. Congrats on your win. The other cool thing that we discovered, it took until Sunday to discover, was that there was actually one vendor there at the event that was buying, selling, trading for sorcery, and actually giving pretty good trade-in values. And actually giving pretty good trade-in values. So it was nice if there was nobody around for some of the newer people when they opened their Dragon Lord, you could bring them over to this vendor and trade in their Dragon Lord for, you know, all the staples that they would need to start making their own decks, which was just super cool because I did that a bunch. I was trading rings and cores and P-stones for all kinds of stuff, including their Dragon Lord that they were using the power of the MSRP in order to trade for more valuable things that they were going to need. But I ran out pretty quick and brought them over to see this guy and was able to set up some cool trades. But I think I made out the best of all, another camel, in discovering this vendor, because this vendor arranged a three-way trade where I actually originally went to this vendor because I was told by Silversea that they were given the most for Magic cards, and I had the Final Fantasy high-end Surge foils that we pulled and that neon blue chocobo, and I just, you know, do I really want to sell it? What am I going to do? Because I have my own TCG player and I can sell it on there, but man, if I can get close to that, I'm going to try. So I tried. Well, that's when I discovered that they were doing sorcery. Little Drums of Doom there. And that there was a guy wandering around that was trying to sell a couple of really high-end cards. All right, Overpower, Ordinary Magic foil right there. Nice. So there's a guy wandering around trying to sell a couple high-end cards, and I hear this, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell, because I was really plugged in doing trading all day. This was, you know, early mid-afternoon, and I had not heard of these particular cards, or the one particular card that we were talking about at the time, being available by anybody for sale or trade. So I get the guy's number and he texts me when the guy comes back, and he arranged a three-way trade, and I will show you here in just a second. A three-way trade where this guy was trading off this alpha foil Courtesan Tyus. Look at that. So we did a three-way trade on that. But that's not all. As part of our casual conversation, I mentioned that I was missing a specific particular card that I was looking for. And it just so happened that the vendor asked the guy if he had it, and he did. And this is going to blow your mind, because it blew my mind, and it totally changed the whole course of the deal. But ladies and gentlemen, I walked out away from that vendor with this little guy. Can you see it? Do I need to zoom in? Do you think it'll stay focused? Oh my god, there it is. Look at that little alpha symbol. And look at the condition that this card is in. Holy cow. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I traded too much value for this. Not at least what I think this thing could go for cash. So if you're out there, thanks for hooking me up with this awesome deal. But the vendor also got a pretty solid deal by buying a stack of unique foils from the guy that I was not interested in. So yeah, alpha foil Devil's Egg to complete my set. Trade of the year, trade of the century for me, whatever we want to say. Holy cow. So Courtesan and the Devil's Egg. Courtesan currently listed, I did a short on it, currently listed on eBay for sale. So if you're interested, check that out. It's open for offers. But that Devil's Egg, no. I think just like everybody else, you're going to have to pry that out of my dead hands. Alright, there's a mix, a nice mix there. Where are we going to put the mix? Let's put the mix right there. You got that Wall of Fire, Blink, another Wolves. Alright, getting closer to a Wolves deck. Alright, a few more packs going on here. So yeah, Sunday, That was pretty cool. There was some other cool swag that I got as well. I got a couple of Dragon Lord t-shirts that Ed Beard had made up, which are pretty cool. I'm not going to try to figure out how to display them on here. There's a Rest in Peace. There's some cool art, but man, that's a tough one to play in a deck. Extinguish. Normal. Oh. Wow. My heart skipped a beat for a second there. 2 Extinguishes in the same pack. Oh, I really thought we got another one for a second. Wow. Really thought. Let's dig that back out. I really thought maybe, but you know, these are just so dark. I really thought we were getting another Curio, maybe 2 in the same pack, huh? Interesting. Well, other cool stuff. So, Ed Beard was there, right? So I got my little Dragon Lord signed by him. Got the Dragon Lord's Lair signed by him. I didn't get the full set signed. I don't know. I was just got these along with the t-shirt. I didn't get any foils signed, but yeah. This one was actually from Houston. I forgot to show it last week. So there's Brian Wackwitz with Vikings, one of my favorite cards, in the foil with a signature. Got that Sly Fox from Liz Danforth. That's a good one. I never ended up getting that Mirror Realm foil that I was looking for that whole time. So that is definitely still on the list. And then a Grievous Insult. Well, there's our Jeff signature there. Love this card. Love sticking it in random packages with a whole bunch of packing tape sealing it up to where it takes an hour to get it out. And this is not necessarily something that I got there, but this took 8 weeks to arrive. And I meant to have them while I was there, and I did not. But there's my cool sleeves that I have. So randomly, I'll be sticking these into some orders because I don't really need 100 Avatar ones. But how cool is that? But this was going to be my deck sleeves at the event, but they didn't arrive in time. So yeah, that's the swag. So let's keep her moving here. Oh, yeah, pause for a little bit of... Ooh. So yeah, Sunday was a long day of trading, and there was so much coming and going and buying, selling, trading, and I had no idea all of what I had. The binders were a hot mess. There's a Carcamesh Elite Beast. Binders were such a hot mess. So I got home Monday night, was wrecked, tired, had to go back to the big boy job, and then Aaronator and I spent like the whole week just sorting and sorting and sorting and sorting and sorting all the cards and getting the inventory square, which I just finished this morning. I think it had to have been 12 hours, the two of us doing it. There's a Polar Bears. I love getting the Polar Bears in a foil. I mean, it helps that we had the Amethyst core in the foil, of course. But yeah, Polar Bears foil. All right. And a couple more cards behind. A few more packs here. So yeah, the other reason why it took me so long to get the inventory squared away is that I've been getting absolutely bombarded with DMs asking when my spreadsheet's going to be updated and what cards do I have, and people looking for Dragon Lord singles. So I've been just straight slammed. Oh, there's a cool one. I know it's just an elite, but wow, I love that. That's such great art. Pelewaka Axel, I think, just got his hands on a Death Speaker artist proof. That's pretty cool. Where are we gonna put that? That's gonna go there. Yeah, so tons and tons of deals. I think probably 50 different packages went out in the mail in this week. No, not 50, probably like 30 at least. Yeah, so a lot of action, and it has me really hopeful for the future of this TCG. Whirling Blades. All right, now there's a powerful card. An ally may take up to 2 steps and then strikes each enemy along their path. Hell yeah. Alright, that one might have some... No, that's okay. That one's okay. Alright, doing good. A few more packs. So yeah, I got my inventory sheet squared away. I had a lot of coming and going even while I'm trying to do the inventory, but last night, finally, I got my TCG player inventory back live, which is kind of annoying that you have to have it all squared away because it's kind of all or nothing when you want it to go live, but it's nice having 3,000 or 4,000 products or items uploaded. Wow. All right, River of Flame, never mad at pulling a River of Flame, that's for sure. Fire Spellcaster, one of the few ways to get rid of a Root Spider playing a red deck. Little Bosk Troll. Yeah, so I had a great time. The community is what makes this game special, right? We talk about that all the time. And the community just came out in force. And whether it was the OGs or the new like content creators or the new people looking to get into the game, and everybody being so helpful and getting them what they need and the right advice, where to buy from, where to trade, who to trade with. Another mix, okay. It was just great. Another thing, so I didn't mention you could get your Dragon Lord at MSRP, right? So you could get one per person per day, and then these guys, the newer people, were using that because they didn't really need a Dragon Lord box, so they were trading it for stuff that they needed. That was pretty cool. And another thing is that I saw most people were opening their Dragon Lord boxes and keeping their foils. I had a hard time trading for opened Dragon Lord. I traded for one Ignis Rex. So all the boxes that I saw, I only saw one Ignis Rex. I had to trade pretty heavily for it, but I got it. But other than that, most people were keeping them. And they didn't run out. There wasn't like Gen Con with a huge line. That's 2 for 2, even with the huge numbers of people. I have noticed in the Discord there's been a bunch of people posting their non-foil sets and their foils, but it's nowhere near what everybody was saying in the doom and gloom. And I sold almost all of my Dragon Lord foils this week. So, I don't know. I don't think Dragon Lord is gonna really drop too much. I mean, if it, there are a couple people, you know, like, oh, $40 for my non-foil set. All right, here's a Rain of Arrows. I love that art. But yeah, for the most part, you know, I think it's holding steady. I mean, check out eBay. You know, the prices are really holding up. But yeah, great time. Great time at these events. I'm really super torn about Vegas. Like, I wasn't planning on going. I'm kind of over Vegas. I used to live there. Went to Sorcery Con there. But man, it was such a good time. Even if it wasn't, you know, if it's going to be like Houston, where it sounds like, you know, it's going to be a lot more regional, where not as many, you know, well-known people in the community going. So maybe I'll be the most well-known at this point. Who knows? But I was able to pencil in the time off from work, at least. So now it's just talking to Arinator and seeing what she wants to do. And I don't know if she wants to make all of our time off be about sorcery cards like I do. I don't know. We'll have to see. Any of you guys going to Las Vegas? Let me know. All right, there's a Pikeman exceptional. I haven't even really been paying attention or counting the other foils other than that Amethyst. That is such a sick pull. A few more packs. Yeah, I'm super excited for the trajectory that the game is on. So I've got a couple of notes on kind of my key takeaways for this event. I think this event and sorcery is great because of the community. They just need to work on some little tweaks, right? Like, everybody's hypercritical and probably maybe overly so, but there's definitely some things that they need to work on, you know, especially these events. And I give them a pass because it was so much fun and they really tried hard. But, you know, it really shouldn't be that hard to not overlap the events, especially between event to event. There's another Extinguish. You know, Gothic's about to come out, so it's just going to grow and grow and grow. So scheduling the events, judging, it was interesting. So relying on SCG Con for your brand, we ended up having a really good set of judges in Houston, and had some situations in Baltimore where the judge that we had was open and honest that he had no idea what sorcery was, and they sent him over to judge. And I don't think that's okay, you know? Like, you shouldn't have to call someone from the company to come over and do the judging, or rely on Ira, who's there to have a good time and play, I thought. Or Lord of Itza, for example, who is a who has been a judge in the past to kind of make rulings, when that's kind of what I think they're paying for, right? So I mean, that's not necessarily the company's fault, but I mean, that's their name on it, I guess. Another key takeaway I think that I got is the gameplay. I think the gameplay is getting seriously noticed, and excuse me, gameplay is getting seriously noticed, and how deep and complex, little royal bodyguard there, how deep and complex it can be, and how much it relies on the skill of the player and not just what cards you draw. And that's just the thing that I really like the most about playing the game. And, you know, I was a collector first and foremost, and being in Hawaii here with no scene, like whatsoever, just me and my wife, it's all been about the collecting for me. Need to make more time to play on Tabletop Simulator or something, or try to get the local community brewing. But in the meantime, it's just been about the collecting thing for me. But man, the gameplay and how complex and how no two games are the same. And just the way that the decks are constructed and the rules are for making your decks. One of the podcast teams, so Common Sense Sorcery, put out a video, really great video, talking about how, really about all of sorcery and why they're hooked. But one of the things that really drew me in was the part where they talked about, like that the gameplay was so complex and was really what was going to keep people into the game. And so one of the things that we like to say is that, you know, the art's going to draw you in. So it's like on the shelf or these types of videos, the art's going to draw you in, and then it's going to be the gameplay that kind of keeps you involved because they're seriously focused on it. But there might be a shift coming as these cons keep going and you're focusing on players who are blinging out decks and everything. Screaming Skull. So you got these players wanting to bling out decks and start the collecting then. So is it collecting first and then gameplay like me? Or are we going to see a pretty cool shift to where the gameplay itself is going to be the main draw that gets people into this game? And then maybe they stay for the art and the collecting and then are drawn to things like Collector Art House, right? So yeah, I mean, it was just crazy to see all these guys coming over and wanting to play the game. So I saw new players coming over to the sorcery area pretty much en masse in Baltimore. So like those of us that went to both, you knew that in Houston, the sorcery learn to play area was right in the foot traffic area between the main gameplay for Magic and where all the food was, and just off to the side from the exits, but so much foot traffic going by there. And it was kind of disjointed. So the learn to play area was on the way far side of the venue from where the play was, and then the register for buying your Dragon Lord was in the middle. There's a Lord of the Void, unique, and we got one of those in the consolation packs from Philosopher Cards. All right, that's cool. So it was all spread apart, and it kind of sucked if you were part of the sorcery group and community at Houston being all spread apart, but the foot traffic you got from the Magic players was awesome. And Baltimore, everything was condensed together, which was super cool because you had Ed Beard there and the sorcery team using that spot instead of the main SCG vendor booth to do the Dragon Lord sales. And then it was right next to the Learn to Play and right next to all the tables for the gameplay, but it was a little bit off to the side. But I'm telling you what, it didn't matter. There were so many people coming over. Maybe they were coming over to buy Dragon Lord that somebody told them about. I don't know. But maybe it's come for the Dragon Lord, stay for the gameplay. I don't know. But there were so many people coming over en masse, even though it was off to the side, and it was just so great to see. And my experience with trading was awesome. The people who had never played the game, or they'd played the Learn to Play and had a pre-con deck, and trying to get the cards that they would need to have, you know, even more fun with their little play group that were sick of Magic. It was really nice. So with all that being said, and I know I'm kind of slow rolling some of these packs because I'm still getting used to talking and opening packs, but I truly believe that this game is about to absolutely explode. And it's organically, I think. Like, they're not really marketing the game, right? So it's the community that's bringing this forward. Last pack Magic. So community is bringing it forward. And everybody talks about how great the community is. but this game is gonna explode. And my question is Eric's Curiosa ready for it? Are they ready to manage the product and the release and the different media and marketing and getting product out to distro and doing it in a way that doesn't dump the market and caters to collectors and players alike? You know, there's been some weird decisions out of the company, some great decisions too in hindsight. Lack of communication has been kind of pervasive. Like, give us a roadmap, right? But you know what? The state of this game right now, and all things considered, let's see if we can get a banger here. All right, Great Wall, unique. So nothing crazy in the unique non-foils in this box, but that's okay. You know, like Eric's Curiosa, it's about to explode. All things considered, all the trading, my sales are going way up. You're in Cold Foil Heroes Discord, and all his sales are going up. Like, he's just crushing as well. Cannot keep certain cards on the shelf. There's cards like non-foil uniques that don't even see play, that are just flying out the door. AL singles are on the rise. It's a really interesting time. You know, people are spending money before, you know, we're almost within 30 days of the next giant once-a-year release of a over 400 card set, and people are spending money. And they're joining the game, and it's not the hype of this set that's released. It's gonna explode. It's gonna explode, and I hope Eric's Curiosa is ready for it. I hope they fix the quality issues with the cards. These cards were pretty great, but you know, a lot of the cards have real serious issues, and I think that the state of this game and this trading card game and this community is so positive right now. It's Eric's Curiosa's game to lose at this point. The community has handed EC a Cadillac. I'm really excited to see what the company does with that. So interesting times ahead, to be sure. Help me out by liking and subscribing for this video and for the channel, trying to get over the threshold to be able to do some live streams and maybe some other fun stuff. So if you like it, please drop a comment. Let me know how your SCG Con went. All right, thanks for joining. Have a great day.